It is a special ahead of the 4th of July weekend. Sport and Order, welcome in to your Thursday afternoon entertainment. What a battle today. I'm super excited for this one, as we do have from ESPN 1000, NBC Sports Chicago. I guess I'll call him my mentor because it's probably a true statement. At the Kapman, David Kaplan, welcome to Sport and Order, buddy.
Mark, thanks for having me, buddy. It's an honor to be on a tango with Ryan, who I know very well, and I'm a huge Big Lead fan.
Ryan Phillips, the senior writer, the Big Lead, co-host of Assembly Call, perhaps a show to be determined later as well. At Rumors and Rants on Twitter. You got big competition today, Phillips. You ready?
I do. I'm honored. I'm a big fan of David as well. And happy Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody.
How about that?
Bobby was definitely considered for a question today, but he did not make the cut because who wouldn't want to be getting paid $1 million a year to do nothing for years on end? Congratulations to Bobby Bonilla. That's really well done. We do have 7 questions on the board, a bunch of NBA playoffs, a little peek at what's going on with college athletics. I know both of you guys are huge college sports fans, so that'll be interesting. And then we've got some baseball for you. 7 questions on the board. First 1, 2, 4 takes home the Sport and Order title for this Thursday, July the 1st. We're going to bring in the elder to go first here, David. You get to go first here on question number 1.
That old.
I mean, I just, I listened to your radio show today, and you're not endorsing any hair products over there, which, by the way, we do have one question that falls along those lines with Tom Brady coming up to wrap up the show today. But let's start with the league, and let's start with Chris Paul. Huge praise last night for Paul and the Suns going to the NBA Finals, taking out the Clippers, and Paul, for the first time in his 16-year phenomenal career, getting there. So my question is this: if the Suns win it all, where does Chris Paul fall when it comes to the all-time great NBA point guards? Cap, you're up.
He's certainly going to be in the team photo of the top 10. I mean, Magic Johnson for me is number 1, and it's not close. But Chris Paul is a tremendous leader. He is an outstanding facilitator. And when they have to have him score like he did last night, getting 41 points, he shows you that with the chance to get to the finals for the first time on the line, this guy can do that as well. So for me, he's a top 10 point guard, probably pushing the edge of that top 5.
Pushing the edge of the top 5. Who's your number 2, Cap?
I mean, I was always a huge Jason Kidd guy. Steve Nash won 2 MVPs. He's the greatest Phoenix Sun in history. Again, Chris Paul could be on that list as well. You could go, and Isaiah Thomas is right there.
There we go. Little, and there's so many to name here. I'm assuming that you're just, the Big O, Steph. A lot of names here, Phillips. Where are you going here? How high can he get if he wins the title?
He's either in the top 5 or on the verge of the top 5. It gets really muddled there because what do you define a point guard as? Steph Curry, technically considered a point guard. Magic Johnson, I agree, by far number 1. Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, though he's considered a shooting guard, 12 of his 14 seasons, he actually played point guard. I mean, after that, things are kind of wide open. Jason Kidd, other guys. But here's the thing about Chris Paul to remember. 16 seasons, 10-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Defensive. He's played for 2 historically awful franchises in New Orleans and the Clippers and elevated them to new heights. He's 5th all-time in assists, 5th all-time in steals, and will rise higher because he's not retiring. So I think that he is really, by the time he's done, he's going to be in that top 5 conversation.
That is, did you just say that Jerry West played point guard in 12 years of
12 of his 14 seasons was considered the point guard of the team?
All right.
If you look back historically,
it is rare that I give points to people for learning things on Sport and Order, but that is just something that I've never heard before, and so into the Ryan Phillips deep research level that I got to give you the point on question 1 just for knowing that Jerry West was a point guard for that long. What was your comment there, Cap?
I said he's exactly right. They had other guys alongside him like Gail Goodrich and others that were there to make jump shots. Obviously, Jerry was a great player, but Ryan is correct.
The logo, we'll put Phillips on the board here. 1-0. Ryan, you're up first here as we look at the Eastern Conference going to Game 5 tonight. Of course, the series tied up at 2. Giannis officially out tonight, and he may miss the rest of the series, or they'll rush him back, and he's not going to be anywhere close to 100%. That's what it seems like, at least. Trae Young is expected to be back at some point, perhaps tonight. I'm asking, Will the Bucks survive the series without Giannis and make it to the finals? Ryan, what do you think?
I think it's going to be real tough if Trae Young is back and healthy, but I'm not sure Trae Young is going to be fully healthy. Those ankle sprains can last for a long time and take away a lot of the quickness that makes him what he is, makes him special. The Bucks have the better supporting cast. Chris Middleton has been a revelation in these playoffs. You've got Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday. They're better than John Collins, Bogdanovich, and Gallinari. And if Trae Young's ankle is better, I think he leads the Hawks through, but I just don't think it's going to be there, so I have to lean Bucks.
I'm not sure if they are better, but it's a fair argument. Cap, what do you think?
I do believe the Bucks will find a way through. I think they're very blessed that they didn't have structural damage found on the MRI on Giannis Antetokounmpo, but a point guard struggles when his ankle is a problem much more than a plodding big man. Even a DeAndre Ayton, who's very athletic, if he was dealing with an ankle injury, he could still become a factor around the basket. But when you are a point guard or a scoring type guard, you need your legs to push off. He wants to make shots from 35 and 40 feet. No shot. I think the Bucks move on.
It's interesting because you would think that Trae will attempt to play, and maybe that actually has a negative impact on the club. And there's also can they play at the same level that they played in Game 4 without him? Maybe that was just a little bit of a fluke. Cap, for underlining the challenges that the Hawks have, we'll put you on the board here. 1-1 as we go to question 3. And this is where we hit college sports. And look, there have been multiple people who have wanted college basketball, football, whatever sport you're playing, to be able to make money. And now they can off their name, image, and likeness, NIL. There you go. I want to know how you think this guy is going to play out on the field, on the court, wherever. Let's just go to the primetime revenue sports. Will college basketball and college football fans, do you think they'll be happy with what college sports is going to look like in 5-10 years? Give me your hypothesis on this, Cap. What do you think?
Well, as someone who was a college coach, I think it's great that players can get paid for their name, image, and likeness. I was scouting up at a game at Michigan, and there was the Fab Five jerseys for sale, and they got none of it, yet it had all their numbers and all their names. I think it's hypocritical of the NCAA, but I do think it's not going to be limited to men's basketball and football. In fact, one of the deals that was signed today, Mark, as I did my research to be on Sport in Order, there are twins that play at Fresno State. They have 3.3 million followers on their joint account. They have separate accounts. They are going to be massive, massive endorsers because of the type of reach that they have. I think it's a good thing.
Phillips, how do you think this is going to play out in 5 years?
Fans will like it because this is all going to feel a whole hell of a lot less dirty. For years, rich people have gotten richer off the backs of young athletes who couldn't even control how their names, images, and likenesses were presented to people. Now those young people who have, again, made billions for others can monetize their own names, which is something that should have been allowed from the start. As fans, it feels a whole lot dirty getting to watch these guys play, knowing now that the administrators and stuff aren't the only people getting wealthy off it. I think fans are going to love it. Will it change the game? Maybe a little, but not enough that we're not going to watch it and eat it up.
Yeah, the one thing I would say, I want to see how it plays out. How does the star left tackle, who the quarterback gets the big endorsement, the left tackle doesn't, and without the left tackle, the running back or the quarterback can't make the plays? If you're not taking care of that guy, could we have some dissension on some of the big-time football teams?
Okay, so you just underlined the point that I was looking for one of you two to make. But look, this is going to be the rich getting richer. I don't know. I mean, I think like Kentucky hoop fans are going to love this, but I'm not sure if the rest of the SEC is, because I think you'll have the left tackle on whatever Alabama. He'll be getting endorsed by Billy's Garage, whereas that's not going to happen elsewhere. So I'm not exactly sure if we're going to like this, but Cap, you named the twins, and that was a good underlining that I did not do. This is not just going to be football and basketball. And look, your Instagram, your TikTok, your Twitter, wherever you're promoting yourself, that's a big part of it too. So let's give Cappy the point here for underlining how wide-ranging this is going to be. 2-1. Ryan is up as we go to baseball, and Josh Donaldson making quite the noise for the struggling twins. He hits a 2-run homer off of Lucas Giolito. He then taunts Giolito coming around the bases under his breath a little bit, saying, quote, it's not sticky anymore. Giolito, those spin numbers have been very noticeable, and they've been down since, of course, baseball is enforcing their sticky substances. Giolito called Donaldson classless, though. I'm wondering, was Donaldson out of bounds calling out Giolito? Did he go too far, Ryan?
Well, here's the first thing. He said it to his dugout and fellow hitters, kind of, trying to pump him up like, hey, you can hit this guy. There's no more sticky. His RPMs are way down. But here's the thing. He's allowed to speak his mind a little bit. The pitchers have been cheating for years. While hitters have not been able to cork their bats, have not been able to take steroids, the pitchers have cheated unabated for about a decade. Hitters are fed up, and that's why this changed, because they were going to different levels with spider tack and all that stuff. They're furious. And guess what? He's right about Giolito. His spin rate on his four-seam fastball has dropped by 250 RPMs. He's right. There's no more sticky stuff. He's much more hittable. Was it a little classless? Yeah, maybe, but this is baseball. You're allowed to talk a little trash.
Cappy, is Lucas being too sensitive?
I don't think he's being too sensitive. I like that he clapped back and took a shot at him. He also talked about, guess what? They're in last place, and I got the W next to my name. But what I really liked was when Lucas said, if you're going to say it to my face. And Josh Donaldson waited for him in the players' parking lot before the game yesterday and said, okay, big boy, here I am. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. And he also, Ryan pointed out what he's down on his fastball. His curveball is down over 450 RPMs. That's big time.
Wow. You're both in the same realm here, but I think for the underlining of, hey, man, I'm not running from you. I will meet you in the parking lot. I will say it to your face. That's right. I don't buy what you're doing out there. And I just don't be soft. Come on. This is professional sports. He's allowed to say things. Lucas, water off a duck's back. I didn't think Lucas was right at all. Cap, you get the pointer. 3-1. Can Phillips come back from 3-1 down with question 5? And we're going into Cappy's Cub love right now. Who, by the way, they have actually fully collapsed here. Although plenty of time to go, but injuries to Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, 6 losses in a row. And the sell-off at the trade deadline is looking more and more likely. Which major piece should be the first to go? And I want to know where you think that piece should end up. Cap, you're up.
All right, it should be Craig Kimbrell. He's an elite closer, perhaps the best in the game today. Craig Kimbrell is a lockdown arm. If I'm the Chicago White Sox, I'm getting my hitters back. I am calling Jed Hoyer. What will it take? If I can get my starters to stay healthy, and there's no indication any of them are dealing with injury, and all of a sudden I get 6 innings out of them, Aaron Bummer and Cody Hoyer, they get to 7. And guess what? I lock you down with Liam Hendricks and Craig Kimbrell. And if one guy has been used as the closer, the next day I can use the other guy. I can keep them fresh. I can lock it down. That's what ought to happen.
Wow. A White Sox Cubs Craig Kimbrell trade. Ryan, what do you think?
It's Chris Bryant should be the guy dealt, and he's a versatile right-handed bat who can help teams now, and he's going to be a free agent after the year. They need to get something for him. The Mets lead the New York Mets should be his destination. They lead the NL East, but they have a huge hole at third base, and they're 28th in OPS in all of baseball. They can pitch. They can't hit. They need another bat. Jonathan VR is not getting it done at third base, and the team needs more offense. And hey, given Steve Cohen's commitment to spending money, maybe Bryant sticks there long term. You can fleece them for prospects because they are in first place in a tight division and need more offense. Get as much as you can in return if you're the Cubs, and the Mets get that right-handed bat they desperately need at the corner.
What are you getting for a guy who hit 115 in the month of June?
He needs a new change of scenery. He has lost it with the Cubs.
Well, okay, 2 things here. Number 1, I said major piece. Craig Kimbrell to me is not a major piece, so I'm going to get Cappy out here on
a Hall of Fame closer. Have you lost your mind?
No, the major piece is Bryant, Baez, or Contreras, someone of that ilk. Kyle Hendricks, not the guy whose contract is expiring at the end of the year and is a closer. And it's just
actually has another year, Mark. As I did my homework, He's got an option for next year at the club's option. Take that.
That's a fine take, that, but it's not where I was headed on this. And I hate Phillips's answer. I would not trade Chris Bryant, but it's more along the lines of the painful move that would just signify the end. So that's fine. You get the point here. Chris Bryant. Can somebody say Javi Baez? Can anybody? But apparently,
yeah, that 265 on base percentage screams trade me because so many want him.
Well, somebody wants Javi Baez out there, but maybe they don't. Maybe you should ride it out. You'll turn it around. Get in the playoffs as the second wild card.
It's over.
It'd be sweet. Garrett Cole. Let's go to question 6 here. The Garrett Cole ERA is up. Yu Darvish spin rate down. I'm talking about what's going on with Major League Baseball's crackdown on spin rate. But if you look at the numbers everywhere else, as far as strikeouts, nothing's really changed. It's down like a tick of a percent, not even a full percent. So I'm asking the question, is Major League Baseball's crackdown on spin rate going to result in anything more than a complete sideshow of players dropping their pants and people getting suspended for rosin, and it's going to end up that the actually enjoying watching the game? It ain't going to happen from this. Phillips, what do you think?
I think the rollout has stunk, and I think that the timing of it was probably really bad. They should have done this preseason, sort of figured out a better way to do this. This feels very rushed. But at the same time, offense is ticking up a little. It was at historic lows in April. I mean, not much, but a little. And you're seeing pitchers' ERAs climb a little bit. You're seeing guys who were so dominant sort of come back down to earth a little bit with the Coles and the Bowers and all that. The game feels a bit fairer. What's going to eventually happen is, and the problem wasn't sunscreen and rosin, it wasn't pine tar, it was teams engineering substances to make their spin rates jump to an incredible degree, and that has largely stopped. That is the change that needed to happen. So yeah, the implementation has sucked, but the game is starting to feel a bit fairer.
Cap?
Well, here's the thing, Mark. 16.8, that's the amount of batting average increase we've seen since the rollout on the 3rd of June. So when you look at what they've been able to do with the crackdown, offensive numbers, in fact, yesterday was the highest scoring day of the season, one of the highest scoring in the last decade, on average runs per game, over 13 yesterday. Yes, the crackdown is working. It's a bit of a sideshow, as Ryan correctly said, but it's still absolutely having an effect on offense.
All right, what I'm feeling here the most is that I am a little bit rushy in wanting my cake and eating it too immediately. And I think Phillips just taught me a lesson of just let things play out over time. You got to let things marinate, like when Cap makes his chicken for his lovely wife, Mindy. He does a great job with the marinade. This game's more fun when it's tied up. So, Phillips, you get the point here. Everybody needs to relax. It's going to have an effect. Cap, you underlined it well, too. That was tight. 3-3, and we will decide it on Tom Brady, who landed an endorsement deal with Subway despite the fact that he reportedly has never eaten at Subway. Did Subway... What are you doing, Subway? Did they make a mistake hiring Brady to endorse their sandwiches that Brady will probably never eat? Cap, you're up.
They did not, because he's Tom effing Brady. He's Tom Brady. He's known for what he eats. If he's going to put his name on it, there's many millions out there and go, well, you know what? If he says it's healthy, TB12 says it's okay, guess what? I'm in. So it's Tom effing Brady. Do one commercial, him and Giselle with a freaking sub in front of him. Yeah, they'll sell out.
This BMT is absolutely the delicious, and it's good for you. Okay, Ryan, was this a good move by Subway?
Great move, because the man who will not eat a strawberry will now be eating Subway sandwiches. They can pitch that. Look, Brady can come out and say, I've never had Subway before, but now I love it because I'm doing this. But here's the best part, Carm, and this is genius. You know who else does Subway ads? Bill Belichick, and Subway can reunite them in a Super Bowl ad. You pitch it all week. We're reuniting Belichick and Brady at the Super Bowl. That is why this is genius. It was not a mistake. It was a great move for Subway. Belichick and Brady back together in an ad.
Wow. The strategy of Subway to have Belly and Brady together, is that really what's going on here?
Never going to happen.
I don't know.
You watch.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So I've got to choose between Belichick and Brady, or Cap saying it's Tom effing Brady. Whatever he sells, you'll buy it. That's tough. I guess at the end of the day, I'm gonna lean slightly towards good old Cappy. That whatever Tom Brady says, we will we will do. Which is just painful for me to give it to Cap, but I'll do it anyway because I try to be fair on Sport and Order. And yeah, listen, you want to be in bed with the GOAT, who, by the way, Mike Ditka, interviewing him earlier this week, said he's not the GOAT. In fact, Rudy Bukic is right there with him. Cap, congratulations. Phillips, this is like your 100th time out. I think your second loss, your third loss. Where are we at? Third loss. Wow.
The first two I don't agree with, though. I still protest both.
Yeah,
we'll do it again. We'll have another one.
Everybody always protests the loss. Cap, I said it. You correct. Congratulations, buddy. I know you lost last time, so you came back strong, pal.
You got it. It was an honor to be on with Ryan. Keep up the great work. Carm, love you.
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Sport and Order coming at you in advance of your 4th of July weekend, a little special Thursday edition. We will see you next time.